Hi there, Micah with you from Micah Health and Fitness, and I've just had the pleasure of interviewing the wonderful Kelly Coe, who is the founder of New Zealand's very own fashion label Augustine. Find out how she keeps so fresh and fired up about her label Augustine and the direction it has in the future. See what her challenges are, how she juggles being a mum, a wife, a businesswoman, and the face of Augustine. Find out how she keeps her body amazing and since filming this interview, she's taken on the Micah Health and Fitness transformation. So if you haven't tried it already, get a 10-day free trial now at micahfitness.co.nz. And then the last two things that were really great about the interview is her beauty tip. Got to watch that, and her inspiration, words of wisdom to anyone wanting to get into business or any creative field. So let's get to know Kelly a little bit better. She's gorgeous, she's funny, she's relaxed, and let's have a ball. Give grace. There's a couple of glitches in the video, so we have some funny expressions, but let's have some fun. I am so ecstatic to have Kelly with us today, and she is the amazing person behind Augustine, and so we're going to get a little insight into her life today. So thank you so much for coming here today, even though you're on your phone. You've set aside this little bit of time. How are you this morning?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me. And yes, I'm not good with technology, so it's quite a miracle that this is working.
I know, I'm pretty pumped as well. I wanted to ask you heaps of questions because I know that when I think of people wanting to know what is the, what do you do? How do you create this amazing big brand when you actually juggle so many other things? That you're a mum of 3 children, you have a fantastic husband, and you just balance so many balls. So tell me then, how long has Augustine been going?
We had our 10-year party last year, so we're in our 11th year now. So yeah, it feels like longer than 10 years sometimes, and then it feels like we just started it yesterday other times. So yeah, it's so much easier now than it was in the beginning. So big
milestone.
Awesome. Yeah, it was.
So after 10 years then, what is it that, that gets you really excited about either your, business, your design, or your life? Because, it's a pretty big deal, and you keep having these amazing new ideas every season. So what is it that gets you excited or passionate every day?
Oh, so much. I absolutely love my job, and I've always said I'll stop doing it when I don't love it anymore, and I still love it just as much as when I first started doing it. So the whole design process of getting the fabrics, creating the designs, getting the samples back, when the samples come back to my office, it is as exciting as it was when I used to get them back 10 years ago. Wow. Probably more so now because they're better now than they were 10 years ago. My very first range, I look back at it and cringe, but so much excites me about work, just the growth in our business and the opportunities that we have and the places we want to take it and where it is now is exciting. But just in general life, so much excites my kids and what they do, and seeing them grow and develop, and all the stuff they're doing is so exciting. And traveling with the family and doing stuff that we sometimes have time off now and go away for a couple of weeks because we've got staff. So there's so much. I just, every day is exciting because every day is different, and there's nothing about my job that I don't love. So
wow. That's interesting you say that, because I think I spoke to you a while ago, and this is probably when you're establishing everything, and I've seen that you've had a couple of holidays, and I think that there was probably a big block of time when it was just 100% all in the business. Did you ever get to that burnout, or did you keep fired up through the whole process?
Never got to burnout, but it was definitely challenging in the beginning. It was so hard at the start because we had to break down so many barriers in New Zealand with pushing women to wear colour, pushing women to wear the product we were putting out there that was so different to what everyone else was doing. And it wasn't easy. We didn't just put it out there and it sold. Like now people are like, oh, everything sells out at pre-order, you must be so stoked, that's so awesome. Like, it is awesome, but it wasn't like that in the beginning. So that was hard. Plus we did everything ourselves in the beginning. It was just Nathan and I, and Nathan had another business, so I would just be at home in my office doing it myself, and then Nathan would do it when he was at home. Then we finally got 1 or 2 staff. It was just, we were doing everything from the accounts to the deliveries to the stock would come in and I'd unpack it and steam it and send it out. It was just so full on. Wow. And then had Indiana within months of starting the business. So yeah, and then we didn't have a nanny until we had Havana, so it was just so much harder then and so many challenges, but I never felt burnt out. But there were definitely times where I was like, it would be so much easier if I was still working for someone else and I could go home at 5 o'clock at the end of the day and hand it over and not have to think about it. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously worth it now, but you've just got to keep pushing through those times, because there's definitely times at the beginning that you're like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah, well, it's actually a huge encouragement. I had a secure personal training career, and then decided like, hey, I'm going to take it online, make everything different. And I'm probably in that uncomfortable stage that you're in when you go like, whoa, okay, it's a big uphill push, and if you believe and you're passionate, you just got to keep going for it. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And what you're doing, there's such a market for that. There's such a market for mums needing to exercise at home, because I myself don't have time to go to the gym. So I get there's such a huge market for that. So you're doing the right thing.
Oh, thanks. Awesome. I hope you're enjoying the interview so far. We're about to see what Kelly does for exercise, how she eats, her amazing words of wisdom, her beauty tip. So stay tuned for that. And remember, if you need any help or advice on health, on fitness, on nutrition, on how to be your very best, go to micahfitness.co.nz. And now enjoy the rest of the interview. That actually leads into as a health coach, I always talk about a lot about balance, nourishing you, things like the question is, how do you balance your business or being a mother and being a wife? But I guess and a part of that is, do you actually get any alone time, or do you do anything that you go, hey, this is Kelly time?
Probably the only thing I do by myself is run, and I try and run about 5 times a week. So and it's not for long, like I'd probably only do 30-40 minute run, but that's the only time that I'll
actually better for you than the longer runs. So you're doing well.
That's what I tell myself. I put my music on and I run, but I mean, it's my alone time, but that's also the time where I do my most thinking about work, and I come up with my ideas for what I need to be doing and stuff. So my brain never completely turns off, but yeah, that's probably the only thing that I do for myself. I mean, we've lived in our house now for 3 years, and I've never been in the house alone. So it's just like, I've never just sat down and watched TV with nobody in the house. Like it doesn't happen. Our life is so busy that there's always someone there. There's always a child wanting something. So yeah, running is my escape.
I totally hear that. So is that part of you talked about that you have a nanny now, and I know, because I know the biggest challenges for myself when I think life and business would be so easy to dominate without children, except they're the most rewarding thing in your life. So has that made a difference of having either a nanny or I think even I don't know if you have a cleaner or all those sorts of things that take all those extra pressures off?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, the kids for me is also developed our business. I would never have started Charlo, which is one of our biggest labels, if I hadn't have had kids. Because when I first started, I was a 26-year-old. I had Nathan and no kids, and we'd go out all the time, and I just created stuff that you wear when you go out. Like I would put beads on silk. Like, why would you not want that? And now after having kids, that I'm like, okay, I actually need some practical clothes. So that's what started Charlo. So I mean, that's been a huge part of it, is knowing being able to be relatable. If I hadn't have had kids, I wouldn't have been relatable. But yeah, having a nanny is a huge help. But well, the girls are at school and they have so much on after school that it just means that they can do all of that stuff, because I can go one place and then you can go the other place. But also means that Havana doesn't have to be in daycare all day. She gets to be at home, and she has her swimming during the day and her dancing, and she gets to have the life that the older two had. So I didn't want to have the third and have to put her into daycare, and she had a different upbringing than the other two. So I mean, she gets less of me than the other two probably did, but that's third child syndrome, I think.
Yeah. But you're number 2, aren't you? You're the last in your family.
Yeah. There's only 2 of us. There was no third. I know the third is a game changer, but yeah, she's so much fun.
Yeah, well, interesting you say that, because I think after having Lockie, that's definitely it. I'm like, the 2 is enough for me. That's a good enough juggle.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back. So we actually met each other decades ago. We were,
decades. We're so old.
Isn't that funny?
Terrible.
We were in university. We actually got to flat together in one of the least hobo flats I've ever been in, which was cool.
It was not hobo at all.
Very fancy. And we got to play netball together. And I guess then I was trying to think about, okay, what have I guessed that you would have turned out to have this amazing career? And I was trying to think about, you know, what I could remember of you as a person. And I think I defined you with a few words. And when I think what about you? Isn't this funny? That you always had high energy. No matter what, you always had high energy. You're always fun. You're very bright, very competitive, and a hottie. And so I think, you know, when I think about that was my summary of you. Is that how you see yourself today still? Like, you know, you think of that, and I'm thinking of that teenage Kelly who, you know, were you doing journalism? What were you doing in university?
Yeah, I did not know what I did at university. I did the most ridiculous subjects. I originally enrolled to do psychology, which is weird. Right. It lasted like one lecture. Then I changed it to I think my degree is actually in media and marketing and then I did postgraduate in advertising. So I did go to do journalism, but I didn't like all that political crap in it because I hate politics. And it was I think because I was in Wellington doing journalism, it was all about politics. So I was like, it's just not me. So changed it to marketing, media. I did a bit of film in there. Bit of film watching.
My degree, film and tourism. I'm like, what am I doing tourism? But I guess here I am now, a fitness person.
Oh my God, it's so ridiculous. And I find it so hard to tell young kids that ask, they want to get in the fashion industry and they're like, what do I go and do at uni? I'm like, don't go to uni. Yeah. Is my answer.
Wow, that's been cool. But I mean, I totally, I mean, that the only thing I liked about, I mean, I did like university is the fact that I finished it and it gave you something to go, okay, you know, you can get in the door somewhere. But I go, there's so many successful people that went a different avenue now, eh?
Oh, I know. And I just don't think my degree got me anywhere. My first job out of university was working for Nike New Zealand as a national merchandiser, like I was merchandising stores. I don't think that when I went for the interview, they were like, oh, she's got a marketing degree, we'll take her. Because I didn't, you know, if you've got personality and you can show that you can do the job, then just go into any industry you want to go in and go on right in the bottom and work your way up. When I started in the fashion industry, I was literally cutting swatches of fabric, little small little squares, and making a style book so that when the wholesale reps went around selling that, they could have all the colours on their little books. And I was like, this is ridiculous that I could be doing the sales job, I could be doing that, but at the moment I'm cutting squares, and that's where you got to start from the bottom and work your way up.
Huge encouragement to anybody, not only trying to get into fashion, but in anything really, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, definitely some industries you have to have a degree, obviously, if you want to be an accountant or a lawyer. But if you want to be in a creative industry, I can just go and offer to work for someone for free, offer to clean their dishes for them, get in the industry, because if they see you as a good, hardworking person, they're going to keep you on. Yeah.
I love it. So it's encouraging. It totally is. So what about? I was interested in, like, and I think you do Instagram and Facebook incredibly well. In fact, I think that you are probably the best at being fun, but being relevant and being reachable. When you think about your market, it's all sorts of types of people, and it feels like that. It's not just supermodels there all the time, and that's really cool. So in all these shoots and all these different things you've done, have you got a little story that either something, you know, that happened during one, or I'm sure there's lots of different things that could be interesting to people?
Oh, I don't know. When I looked at this question, I was like, I'm sure there are 1,000 million stories, but there's not one thing that kind of stands out. I mean, I guess the story in itself is the fact that we do use our customers as our models in our photo shoots, and it's something that no one else is doing, and I hope that no one else does, because it's our thing.
And it will feel like that if people do it.
I'm just going to make sure that get trademark a photo shoot. Yeah, and it's that we use our everyday customers are our models, and that's what they want to see. That's why they buy the product, because they can see someone that looks like them in a photo shoot. It's not a whole lot of size 8 models in the photo shoot. So
yeah, and that they can look beautiful and whatever, can't they? And, and I love that. And in fact, I saw when I was perusing, actually, we're going to try this. Is I can actually share your website, so anyone who watches this, let's have a look here.
Wow, that's fancy technology.
I know.
And we've just got a new website, so it's way flashier than our last one. Okay,
let's try this. But it's going to pop up with my Facebook page briefly, and we want to go here. All right. I think this is what everyone's seeing. So at the moment, this is, and I love it. The color is amazing. Can you see it or not? Or you can just see yourself at the moment?
I can. Okay. No, I can see you. I can't see myself. I can just see you on the website. perfect.
And so this is what I was perusing yesterday, and what was inspiring. Again, I love seeing the different body shapes all looking amazing in clothes, but also things that I don't know if I can find it now, but I really love that because I always talk to Eden, my daughter. She loves those princess skirts, those tutus.
Oh, the tutus, yeah.
They should be one for adults, and you now have them. What would that be under? Where can I show somebody that?
Just go to Augustine and just click on Augustine, and then I think it's under the latest collection. Yeah.
Which is something like 2019?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should be under
now, this may not come out for a little while, so it should still be summer. What have we got?
Oh, no, the tutus aren't there. I don't know. I don't know where the tutus are. I'm sure that it's under Augustine, but that maybe just go. Oh, no.
I did see it yesterday. That was the first thing that popped up. Oh, and the other thing that I think is your website. Look, your website's amazing. This keep popping up. So someone from Amber Lee just brought something there. And what was really amazing is that you have a huge following from the Bay of Plenty. Because as I was perusing through, there are people from Matamata, people from or from Tauranga. All these people kept popping up purchasing items, and that's where you're from. Do you think being local and having that connection impacted your business at all?
I think it does for the mount shop. I think originally when we started the mount shop, I think people supported it because I was from there. Now I think I don't even know if people realise that I'm from there because I've lived in Auckland for so long. So I don't think so. I think as far as online sales, it's spread out all around the country. So probably less from the mount because people go into the shop and shop instead of going online. But yeah, our mount shop is just such an awesome shop. Like I just love the location. You can't beat having a shop right there on the beach, and the staff love it. Like every time we go there, I'm like, I could so live in the mount, but I can't logistically, but I would love to if it was possible. Yeah, it's such a cool spot.
Every beach tournament I go to, we go and stay just behind there. So then I get to peruse through, and I'm always like, should I go in all sandy? And so I quickly have it.
Everybody does. Everyone goes in after walking around the mount or up the mountain. They come in their activewear and they always apologise. They're like, I'm really sorry. I'm like, don't you apologise. Half of our customers come in and they're activewear all covered in sand.
And I think you still let your staff really well. They're always really engaging. And so I think, the whole picture from the online presence to your website to you in person being real and to the people that you hire just creates this big, beautiful picture.
Oh, and our staff, we're so lucky with our staff. Our retail staff are amazing. And in the mount, it's so easy to get amazing staff because there's a lot of young, or not necessarily young families, but a lot of families move into the mount now. So there's a lot of mums that want to come and work there. So yeah, we're so lucky with our staff everywhere at the moment. We're always getting told how awesome our staff are, but we drum it into them that they've got it, there's no point in getting a customer into the store and doing all this marketing, get a customer into the store and then you reach them. So so important that we customer service.
Totally. So tell me, I want to know, because you've come from someone who is doing some random stuff at university to now having this amazing business. So who are we talk about in health coaching that the top 5 people you surround yourself with the most, or that that you see as a mentor or you gravitate towards, are your biggest influences? So instead of asking for 5, I want to know 3. Otherwise, we could be here for a little while. So who are the 3 most powerful people that have impacted you, or that in your life?
I get asked this all the time. So the top 2 questions I always get asked is, where does my inspiration come from, and who are my inspiration? Like, what people inspire me? And it's such a hard question because it's been from the beginning. It's just been Nathan and I, and we've just grounded it out from the beginning and got it to where it has. And we've had amazing staff, and we have amazing staff along the way. But I'd say, number 1 mentor would be Nathan. He had his own business before. Yes. We started this together, so he has the business knowledge, and he is the one that is growing Augustine behind the scenes. So he doesn't get to be the face of it, obviously, being a women's wear clothing label, but he is the one that is driving the business, and he's mentored me along the way of how to run a business. Like I have the creative side, I know what I want to design, I have the marketing side, but I had known nothing about the ins and outs of business before I started this. So he does all that side. So as far as other people that have inspired me along the way, I don't really have an answer for it because it's just been the 2 of us doing it. And it's just been us from the beginning, and we've kind of inspired each other and pushed each other along. And great staff are what makes a business as well. But as far as people that inspire me, I don't necessarily have an answer for that. I mean, Nathan would be the number one answer as far as a mentor, and then I don't really have a 2 and a 3. There's always outside influences that inspire my design, whether it's seeing what people are wearing or seeing what's happening in the world, or it's different celebrities, what they're wearing on the red carpet, and all that kind of thing is inspirational. But as far as just what more people, Nathan's that first answer, and I don't have a second and third.
Fair enough. Well, it's powerful. And what about so I mean, because the cool thing is that you've actually stayed really connected to some of your, like, and I see some of your shoots, the some of the people in there are like some of your friends from like childhood, and that's powerful. It means, you know, as a person you've still got that connection, because I struggle with that myself, as friends like yourself and and are all scattered around the country, and connecting is really difficult. I think you do that really well.
Oh, it's so hard. And you say you're going to catch up with people, and then life just gets in the way. But I think that's a great thing about social media now, is that I don't necessarily see my friends from Tauranga all the time, but I can see what they're doing and what's happening in their lives and everything. Yeah. So without Facebook, I just don't know. I don't know how people stay connected before there was social media. I guess you didn't. I guess if you had a friend at school and then you didn't have social media, you never saw them again.
Yeah, that was it. Pen pals.
Yeah, see you later. But now I know what everyone's kids look like, you know. It's awesome. And I do, and some of my best friends are my best friends that I've had since I was 8, you know. So
yeah,
it's which is awesome.
So then, okay, so what about this question? I'd love to know, and this is when I think of people that are successful, when I think of everyone who does well, not just successfully in business but in life, it's about that ability to be persevering, or to have fears but still go up against them anyway. Is there any fears or challenges that you've had to overcome in the last while?
Not so much fears. I don't really fear anything. And now the challenges are so much smaller in the business. I mean, there's goals that we strive towards. So I guess the fear is failure of not making those goals, or being able to tick off what we want to tick off. That would be considered. I'd consider that I'd failed if I hadn't have done it or reached the targets that I want to reach. But as far as fears, I don't have any now. In the beginning, definitely. In the beginning, there's this massive fear of failure, that you've gone and set up your own business and you're doing it on your own, and you don't want to, when it's hard, it'd be so easy to give in, but then you'd have to admit defeat. And that was probably what kept me going, kept Nathan going, is that we're too stubborn to ever let it go.
Yeah. So, is he competitive like you? Has he got that same kind of fire, that competitiveness, and that, grit?
He is just as competitive as I am. So there was no way, and even in some early days when I was like, this is just so hard, he would be the one who'd be like, just harden up, just keep going. Like, you've just got to keep going is the only advice that I give to people. If business is hard in the beginning, you've just got to keep going, because it gets better. It gets so much better once you get through that first couple of years, because that first year, that is hard. And getting your name there and getting known and getting that following. But yeah, it's been worth it in the end, and it's so much easier now. So I don't have the fears that I had in the beginning now, because it's just so much easier now.
It's so cool. So then, okay, so you're I described you with some interesting words before, but if we, and I do this with people a lot, and it's incredible once you say these words, how people start to walk into them. So if we thought of you right now, and you thought of like the best Kelly in the future, or your best future self, and you could only describe it in 3 words, what would they be?
Happy, healthy, and mum. Not that that's like a descriptive word of me, but just to make sure that I'm being a good mum, and giving the kids as much time as I possibly can give them, while still having the business, and dividing the time up between 3, which I think is the hardest thing of being a mum of 3, is that just dividing your time up. I mean, when you've got 1 kid, it's all about them. When you have 2, you're like, oh, how am I going to make both of them happy at the same time? And it's the same, you have 3, you've got to divide yourself 3 ways. So yeah, that is that would be my biggest hope, that I can make sure they all know they are loved equally.
Yeah. I love it. I think those words are perfect, and it's interesting. Of all the people I've gone through that process, I'd say like 80% of them have healthy as one of their words. So I'm
Oh,
glad
it's so
I'm doing it in the health industry. It's a good
you're
thing.
you're in the right industry, because everyone wants to be healthy, and it's not just day-to-day health. Like that's the part you can focus on and that you can change. It's the unexpected health that you just have to hope never comes your way. We went to 4 funerals in a year last year of friends dying from unexpected health issues. So you just every day lucky to not be in one of those situations, or you've just got to thank your lucky stars if you and your family are healthy. So
Totally, it gives perspective, and I guess that's probably another thing I see a lot is the state of mind. People that are positive and proactive, regardless of how amazing their lifestyle is, tend to have an overall better health. And so I think that's that you're positive, and like your words that you say will grow, it will keep you in that stead anyway. Then on that note, what are 2 little things that you're grateful for yesterday?
I wrote health again on this one, obviously very important. And then I wrote living in New Zealand. I'm thankful that I live in New Zealand, and we've just been to Bali, so you'd see the other side of where you could have been born. I'm so thankful that we live in a country that the kids get the opportunities that they get, and that we can just go outside and live in a beautiful country that is just so clean. And it's very thankful for where we live. Apart from the climate, we prefer Australia's climate, but I'm thankful for New Zealand.
Yeah, good call. And then, so me being a health person, and I don't know if you have one, but I advocate that greens are the superfood of everything. Oh, can you still hear me? Your picture's disappeared.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll pop back shortly. That greens, they are the superfood that can heal your cells, make you alkaline, allow you to like function at a really high level. So do you have a favorite meal that has green in it or is green based?
You know me, I don't have that, but I don't eat that much green.
I didn't
I eat healthy, necessarily green.
I
Probably green
have a memory of you and I creating movie nights, and they were heavily based around lollies, and I didn't know if you had that kind of fetish. I was like, no, I'm not too sure. She'd probably come right around as like a health freak. So
I do eat very healthy meals, but I definitely eat a lot of lollies in between. But healthy meals, with a balance. I definitely don't just clean eat or anything like that, but I do have green smoothies, and I love green smoothies, so that'd probably be my answer, is a green smoothie.
Perfect. That makes me feel so happy. I was thinking, if I ask this question and she says I'll poo on greens, then I'll be okay. But the green smoothie is one of my favorites in terms of like getting nutrition hit, and then the rest of the day can take care of itself.
Yeah, absolutely. And my kids have broccoli every single night because it's one of the vegetables that they eat. So they have it every single night, and they think they've had it every night since they were born. So they don't they just think that it's just what comes with dinner.
Yeah. Dinner is broccoli plus whatever.
Yeah, it might be like you might get hot chips on Friday, but you've still got your broccoli.
Oh, that's awesome. And what another thing, and I think women everywhere would love to know this, and mainly because I guess I'm in the fitness industry, that I don't wear a lot of makeup, and I don't spend that much time, and I'm guessing because you don't have a lot of time, you get ready pretty quickly. What is your best beauty tip, or something quick that you do every day, or that you recommend that people do?
Every day, I mean, takes me about 3 or 4 minutes to put my makeup on, because I wear just foundation, mascara, blusher, and lip gloss. Like, I don't heavily make up unless it's a photo shoot. My biggest tip for beauty wise would probably be blow waves. I think it's so underestimated that if you get a blow wave, your hair will stay, my hair stays like that for about 4 days. So I literally don't have to do my hair at all if I had a blow wave. And if your hair looks good, it makes you feel good. Like, I think it makes, I put a little bit of makeup on. If my hair's good, then I just put an outfit on and I'm good to go. So, and it's just time saving. It is time saving. It might take an hour to have blow wave, then I don't have to touch my hair for 4 days. It's like my time saving tip.
I really
Yeah,
like
I
that.
think
Have
that's
you
a
had
good way.
someone that you go to regularly, or is this you doing it yourself, or someone's doing this for you?
Oh no, I don't do it myself. I go to the hair salon. I probably go once every couple of weeks, but so quite often I do my own hair in the mornings. But I go every couple of weeks, and then that sorts me out for the next 3 or 4 days. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's just awesome.
And so, and that actually, I haven't got this as a question, but you've gone blonde.
I have. I fluctuate. I fluctuate. I feel like every time I go to the hairdresser and they put like a toner in my hair, it comes out a different color. So I'm just like a fluctuating rainbow. And I will go back dark eventually, but once I go back dark, I won't go back blonde again because it's such a process. So you're lucky you've got naturally blonde. You don't need to worry about that. And you've got great hair. I have terrible hair. I have extensions.
You have extensions. I never. Well, I don't think you. From university, you had the most gorgeous long hair that was down to like your butt.
And then you have 3 children, and then it doesn't grow anymore.
Yes.
That's what the third child does. So if you don't want any hair, then have a third child.
Well, I'd say my hair's probably different than it used to be amongst a few other parts of my body.
Oh my God, it's terrible. It takes your boobs, it takes your hair. It's just, yeah. Stomach's never the same. It's the third child.
Yeah, I think that's why we work so hard on our personalities. It's you go like, okay, personality overrides any of those things.
Oh yeah, no, it's yeah. I was fine. I didn't lose any hair after the first 2. It was the third.
Ah, right. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. That 2 is my limit then. So tell me then. And actually, you've kind of covered it a bit about the words of wisdom for any woman with dreams, or actually anyone. You talked about just get into it, not necessarily about needing to go to university or anything. Is there anything else I do? Because on my little podcast thumbnail, there'll probably be a lovely little quote from you, and so this might come from here. No pressure.
Oh, yeah. I guess if you're starting your own business, make sure it's something that's unique and that you're passionate about. I think if you're going out to copy what someone else is doing, then it's not going to work. And if you're not passionate about that subject, then it's not going to work. So if you're passionate about it, you can make it work. And just life's too short to get up each morning and go and do a job that you hate. And that's easy to say when we live in a middle class family in New Zealand. So I get that there's working mums that have no choice. They need to put food on the table, and they might be a single mum and they have to go and work in a job that they hate because financially they have to. But if you're in a position that you can choose your job and that you can apply for different jobs, then do it. We'll start your own business and do what you love, because life's too short to get up every morning and go to a job that you hate, come home, you go to bed next morning, get up and do the same thing again. So I think life is what you make it most of the time. I mean, I'd say 70% of New Zealand probably get to choose what they're doing. So yeah, choose something that you love and just keep going, push through the hard parts, because if you're doing what you love, then you're not really working.
Yeah. Well, I think I can get a good little quote on there for the thumbnail. Actually, I'm going to listen to it a few times and go, how can I fit that on the thumbnail?
It was quite long. It was quite a long quote.
There was actually, I thought of one other question is, I remember seeing a couple of different posts, and they're really powerful about a family, about your girls really, and things like, I don't know if it was a broken arm or it was a couple of sicknesses, and I remember like getting off the bottle or things that scare you. And sometimes I think children, my children are like my kryptonite. I feel really powerful and strong, but they're my vulnerability. Those curveballs, how do you cope with those?
Oh, I think as a parent, you're just petrified of anything going wrong with your kids. Like the thought of losing a child or anything like that is just so crippling that I just don't know how mums in Starship cope. I think they are the biggest superheroes of anybody in New Zealand or in the world, is the mother of a sick child. So God, yeah, when your kid just gets a little bit sick, it's awful. But seeing them that way, I can't imagine what it's like to have a child with cancer or a child that's dying, or just frightening. But I do talk about my kids on social media when it's just the little things, because I think that's what there's a lot of little things to do with parenting that people don't talk about. They don't talk about the fact that it's okay not to breastfeed. I didn't breastfeed because I couldn't. That's okay. My kids are healthy and they're fine. They've survived. opposed to what Plunkett told me that I'm like devil woman, that I'm not close to my kids. My daughters had like, my 9-year-old's had like 2 sick days off school in her life, and she wasn't breastfed, so it's fine.
Yeah.
And yes, my daughter has a dummy, and my eldest had a dummy, and her teeth are straight. Like, I'm like, the world is going to be okay. But I do like to talk about things like that. So, and then I put a post out the other day about how Havana and Demi's hair doesn't really grow, and I had hundreds of women say, like, can you please give me the feedback of what you get, because my kids' hair doesn't grow. And I'm like, there's just stuff people talk about, you know, like stuff that if you can be a voice to make someone. Well, my Havana slept through the night for the first time at like 2.5 years. So and my other kids were like 9 months or 2 years. There are mums out there that get a 6-week-old baby to sleep through the night. It's not because they're a better mum than you. It's because they were lucky and their baby's a sleeper.
I know,
you know?
that's critical.
Good at something different.
Yeah, and it makes it feel normal. Like I think that, you know, that was probably the hardest thing for me. Like Lockie didn't sleep as well as Eden, and I was like, oh no, I can't go back to work and be a zombie. And that suddenly, you know, that sleep deprivation can be like, you know, steal your little sparkle. So the first was sort of set you up, didn't they?
Oh, sleep deprivation. I mean, Indy slept through like 9 months. It wasn't amazing, but sleep deprivation, I think, is something that is a huge issue with mums that's not talked about enough. I think the funniest quote I'd ever heard, I don't even know where I read it or something, but I was telling a friend the other day that at your most sleep deprived, at your most tiredest point in the middle of the night with a newborn, you start to wish that you were a prisoner in prison so that you could just lie there and sleep. And so you're like, what am I going to do to get myself here? I'm going to need a rubber band so that I can go to prison. And I'm petrified of prison. Like, I've always, ever since a child, been petrified of prison. But I was like, you sit there thinking, and that they get to get locked in their cell for like 23 hours of the day with no one around. And I could just sleep. Like, what could I do to go to prison just for like 7 nights?
I don't know if I got that dark, but I had some pretty interesting thoughts. Prison wasn't one of them.
Oh my god. It is so hard to function when you're tired. It's just, and that's not like anyone that says they're tired without kids. I'm like, you don't know what tiredness is until you have had a non-sleeping baby. It's just horrific. So you get through it, but it is hard, and I think there needs to be more support for that. You know, if you're back at work and your baby hasn't slept all night, you should, you know, get start late. So I don't know. There needs to be people that come to your house and just let you sleep while they look after the baby.
Yeah, wouldn't that be? There's a business.
There's a
night nannies.
No, you don't have to pay for it. It's just returns to pay for it.
Yeah. I think we're onto something. Now, so that made me think of something. Not because it's related, because that was a deep topic you just, you know, were talking about. But when I was thinking, you're talking there's in your brands, there's also these Alaska teas, which is your husband's conception. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. It is correct.
Yeah, well, I think even though Micah Health and Fitness, but our main personal training business is White Wolf, and I was thinking I need to have a raging White Wolf Alaska tea.
Raging White Wolf.
Well, I think it would be quite cool, because I think obviously I probably will get into some t-shirts and tights. What about tights? Have you thought about designing tights?
No comment.
No comment.
No comment. No comment.
A wolf on them in particular is what I'm interested in.
No, I can definitely talk to the Alaska Teas design team about putting a wolf in there, because we've got so many tigers that we should definitely add a wolf. So I will talk to them, and within the next week you'll see a wolf on Alaska Teas.
Oh, I can't wait. Awesome. So this has been invaluable on so many levels, not just because of the health aspect, but because of I think your story is really powerful and relatable. Hopefully maybe in the next year we might be able to catch up again, because I think this is going to be really delightful for most people to be able to get an insight to how you function and how awesome you are.
Oh, thank you. I'd love to catch up again, and I'm so excited that you're doing this, because I think getting into you're already in health and fitness, but doing this at home fitness and health coaching is awesome. So I wish you all the best with it. I'm sure you'll be amazing, because you as well are relatable in the industry that you're in. So that's what you need to be. If you're going to be training people online, you need to be relatable. So, and I think New Zealand needs more of them, because a lot of the fitness apps are Australian based, and with unrelatable Kayla it signs is not that relatable to the average Kiwi. So
that's what I tell myself. Awesome.
You got this. You're a relatable mum.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, well, it's such a pleasure talking to you, and I can't wait to catch up.
You too.
Two-prong for me, because I got to actually catch up with you and get it recorded for the rest of the world. Isn't that awesome?
Isn't that ridiculous that we have to like do a business interview to catch up? We have to schedule a time. Do it on an app.
I know. Oh, all right. Well, have an amazing day, and I look forward to catching up with you soon.
Too.
Thank you for listening to this awesome interview with Kelly. Hope you've been inspired or learned something new or just had some fun. And we'll be touching base with her again in the future, so stay tuned for that. Have an amazing day.